Hey, you ever want to play your favorite anime character in a tabletop RPG and the system would, kind of let you do it, but not really? Well, then you should play Worlds of Myth. Welcome to MythTube, where we build your favorite anime characters in Worlds of Myth. What is Worlds of Myth, you may ask? Well, Myth is a tabletop RPG that I designed to allow you to build the over-the-top characters you only find in shonen battle anime. Characters like Naruto, Deku, Meliodas, and Ken Kaneki are all examples of characters this game can easily let you build. The game is in late beta right now, so you can head on over to worldsofmyth.net and download a free PDF, and you can also download a variety of other supplements. Yeah, for free. My goal is to spread awareness of the game before its official launch, and I want as many of you as possible to have fun playing it. You can also head on over to our Discord at Sinister Jester Worlds of Myth, where you can talk all things about the game, find a group to play with, or check out some of the other games we're testing. But without further ado, let's talk about who we're building today.
So today we are building Rias Gremory from High School DxD. If you haven't seen High School DxD yet, don't. It's a level of degenerate that you don't want to stoop to. And if you have already seen it, well, you know exactly what kind of creature you are. In all seriousness though, in order to get more views, I decided I wanted to build the #1 waifu build, and when looking it up, Rias consistently came in the top 3 among the articles and polls that I read. So my post-religious, post-moral self decided to watch this entire series, and let me tell you, it was a sacrifice, but you guys are worth it. And after seeing the whole show, I can say I really see it. Rias is a babe. Though personally, I'm more of a Team Aja fan myself. I mean, if you did a sexiness contest, Rias wins hands down. But the nun has a cuter personality. Fight me. But anywho, let's build this S-tier waifu. But first, let's set some expectations for which version of Rias we will be building. So we will only be building Rias up to the end of the 4th season, as this is an anime only channel. That means no energy renewing opie lasers, as incredibly hilarious as that would be to build. We are also not going to be building Dragon Mode Rias, as that was a one-time thing due to Loki shenanigans, and was honestly more of a cheap plot device so she could just turn evil and give Issei a challenge. The Rias we will be building is the one that battled against the Nemean Lion at the end of High School DxD Hero. Going over her abilities, Rias is a pure devil and so is stronger, faster, and more durable than your average human. She has a set of wings that allows her to fly, can teleport over large distances using spatial circles, can modify memories, can heal others through skin-to-skin contact, nice, and can use the devastating power of destruction, which seems to be an antimatter attack. She can also amp up any of her attacks with raw magic when she wants to give you a sponkin'. She can also create a magical shield to defend against attacks, and has a number of other human world talents she has cultivated, such as tennis, cooking, and of course housewife type stuff to round out the waifu skills. She is also a capable strategist and leader. Most importantly, she is capable of making magical contracts with people, which includes the ability to resurrect and reincarnate them as devils to serve in her household. So, what level does that put her at? Well, Worlds of Myth is divided into 6 tiers of gameplay, which we will correlate to the DxD universe. Specifically, we're going to be using the devil ranking system. In Tier 1, or levels 1 through 5, are your low-class devils or other characters of equivalent strength, like beginner Issei, Aja, and even beginner Koneko, though all of these characters would advance later on in the series. I just needed a picture to put here. This is also where most foot soldier mooks would be placed. Tier 2 or level 6 through 10 is for middle class devils or angels or fallen angels of similar rank. This is where I'd probably put beginner Yuto and Irina, if that's how you pronounce her name. Tier 3 or levels 11 through 15 is for high mid-class devils and comparable entities, which is where I'd put beginner Akano. Tier 4 or levels 16 through 20 is for high class devils like Sona Citri. Tier 5, or levels 21 through 25, is for ultimate class devils, angels, and fallen angels like Azazel, Michael, Lucifer, and honestly probably I don't know how to pronounce that man's name. That guy that was an absolute unit in the ranking game. That dude. And then finally, Tier 6, or levels 26 through 30, is where I'd put the truly powerful foes such as gods, super devils, and holy dragons. So where does that put Rias? Well, frustratingly enough, Rias actually has very little combat screen time. Whenever a fight breaks out, most of the screen time is on Issei. And I mean, he is the main character and all, but when Rias is fighting against the Phoenix House, she wasn't the one to defeat the evil fiancé man, Issei was. When Rias and Citri's family were battling against Loki and his children, yeah, you saw her shoot some magic, but she wasn't the one who took any of the gods out. Again, Issei was. And when Issei and Rias had to fight against he whose name cannot be pronounced and the Nemean Lion in the final battle of the junior tournament, Rias got soloed by the Nemean Lion off screen, and then Issei proceeded to take on both of them at once in their super combined form. So the show does a lot of talking about how overpowered Rias is, especially as the younger sister of one of the 4 great Satans, but she doesn't have a lot of feats to back it up. Which is weird because a lot of the other female characters in the show do. It's just Rias that specifically got screwed over. Still, as she was officially classified as a high devil for pretty much all of the series, and she seemed to be somewhat relative to the Nemean Lion, even if she was kinda off-screened, I'll put her at the top of 4th tier as a level 20. For our level 1 stats, we'll go with 3 speed, 2 power, 4 skill, 4 cunning, and 4 heart. Rias isn't necessarily portrayed as physically weak, but she doesn't really brute force things either, and her go-to sport is tennis, which is more about speed and reflexes. For our race, we are going to use the beta race Devils. Because this is a beta race, I was hesitant to use it because it's more subject to change than usual, but I couldn't justify building her as a demon of lust. Her ability to make magical contracts and reincarnate people with her chess pieces is just too central to her character. At level 1, devils get +1 to all of their stats and 2 gene slots. You also get Superior Being, meaning you get +5 to all of your stat caps and your stats cap at 20 instead of 15. You also get Devil's Wings, which is a set of wings you can hide at will, very true to the show. You get Myth Sense, which is a handy little ribbon that allows you to make a cunning versus cunning roll to figure out a target's myth total, level, and alignment. And then you get Soulless, which is a weakness that makes it so you cannot recharge myth without devouring souls. Does Rias do this in the show? No, not really, but this is a myth build and I'm not gonna change the rules of the game just to accommodate her. Devils collect souls for a reason, they gotta eat. Lastly, you get Devil's Contract, and now this is the ability that I know will probably have to be adjusted, mostly because some of the possible things you can do with it can be a bit broken in the hands of a player. So I'll just go through the general parts of the ability that aren't likely to change while leaving out most of the broken gifts that deals can provide. Firstly, when forming a contract, you must make a form and signature. Some flyers with a phone number you have to call sounds good to me. You also create terms which specify what favors and prices will be included in the contract. You then choose favors that the deal provides. Again, there's a lot of them that are subject to change, but reincarnating someone as a demon is an option. Then you choose prices that are extracted, like Issei, if I bring you back to life, you gotta be my sub. And then an escape clause must be provided as well, in which case the contract would become null and void if the escape clause is activated. Don't worry about that though, your family members seem to like you a lot. For spell schools, devils get a lot, probably coming in second place with the most spell school options in the game. You get access to Shadowmancy, Geomancy, and Elemental Spell School of choice. We'll go with Electromancy, Mortomancy, Kleptomancy, Spiritmancy, Hexmancy, Hypnomancy, Gravimancy, Echomancy, Spatialmancy, Sciomancy, Familiarmancy, Chronomancy, and Daemonmancy, which is a spell school that is subject to change. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it. For talents, all devils get Silver Tongue level 1, which gives you +3 to cunning rolls involving intellectual persuasion, and then you get an upgrade point toward a talent of choice. And then there is no way I'm making a Rias build without seduction, which gives you +5 to making non-intellectual persuasion rolls. You use your boobs. Finally, for your kit you get 5 upgrade points. Firstly, you are a pure devil from a royal lineage, so we're gonna give you Hellspawn level 1. When a devil has this gene, they become a greater devil and get +2 to all of their stats in exchange for gaining Soulless level 2. This means that in addition to not being able to regain myth, you also can't heal without eating souls. The amount of healing and myth regeneration you gain from eating a soul is equal to 1d10 plus the soul's heart stat in life plus the soul's level in life. Next, you can use all of the elements of magic, but we only ever see you use the power of ruination in the show, which looks kinda like lightning, so we'll grab Lightning Bolt level 1. This will be our baby ruination power for right now. This attack type spell has great accuracy and range, but mediocre damage and terrible dual wielding stats. We'll also pick up Magic Shield. This Hexmancy block type spell allows us to attempt to block both melee and ranged attacks with a high defense score and adds +3 protection to us if we fail the block, so we can partially block the damage anyway. Next, we are gonna jump all the way up to level 15 because unlike the other characters in her household, Rias doesn't really train to get more powerful. Like, even during the training arcs, she just studies tactics instead of increasing her own magical abilities so everyone else can catch up to her already allegedly powerful self. So we'll just take her on up to her highest non-epic stat and then finish things off with level 20. By this level, you'll get +70 HP, +140 myth, 2 stacks of overcharge, 76 upgrade points, and +14 stats. We'll put 2 into speed, 4 into skill, 4 into cunning, and 4 into heart. From our race, we'll also get another +3 to all of our stats, which so far is shaping us up to be quite the elitist. But we're gonna get even more elitist by upping her Hellspawn to level 3, which will give us another +2 to all of our stats and +1 to all of our stat caps. First, we're gonna go ahead and grab Implanted Spell Crystal level 3. This gene will give us +50 myth and will grant us 3 elemental or specialty spell schools or spell affinities. We'll grab Vitamancy so you have some healing magic, and then Pyromancy and Aquamancy cause I don't know, you're supposed to be able to use all the elements and you have an affinity for hot springs. Like an actual affinity, not like a game mechanic kind of thing. You spend a lot of time in hot springs. We'll also grab Heal level 1. You can heal a target within touching distance by 1d8 plus heart. It's a weak heal with a bad range, but healing isn't your thing and it gives you an excuse to crawl between the sheets with Issei-kun. But this is High School DxD, which is all about the innuendo with none of the follow-up, so nothing will happen beyond that. Next, we'll max out your Lightning Bolt and Magic Shield at level 5 so your main attack and defense options are good. Then we'll grab Lasting Amplification level 2. This allows us to spend an action instead of a passive action in order to make an amplification spell that would usually only last for 1 turn, last for the rest of combat. You can do this up to 2 times. We'll then pick up Dark Strike level 3. This will give us +12 dark damage to all of our attacks and give us another +5 damage when another amplification spell is active. We're not going to pick up that second amplification spell though until we reach epic tier. Until then, let's crank up our stats even more with improved speed level 7, improved skill level 5, improved cunning level 5, and improved heart level 5. That'll bring your stats up to high ranking devil status. Next, let's get some memory altering powers to use on Issei's gullible but lovable human parents. To do this, first we'll need Mind Reader level 2. This spell has a passive action and 2 action variant. The passive action version allows you to make a cunning +3 versus cunning roll against a target within 100 feet of you. If you succeed, you are able to read their surface thoughts. If you fail, they are aware of your attempt to read their mind and they can block you. They also get +3 to any future rolls against this spell. The 2 action variant, which is the one that's more important for us, also requires you to use 2 hands and place them on the head of your target, who must be willing to let you do so or just unable to stop you because they are tied up or asleep or something similar. Using this version of the spell, you get a +5 to your cunning roll instead of a +3, and if you succeed, you not only get to read their surface thoughts, but you get to experience one memory as well. You can choose to search for a specific memory, or the GM can just give you one at random. Why did I grab this? Cause this spell is necessary in order to use the more complicated beta spell Modify Memory Level 2. Again, all spells are subject to change until the official release, but these specifically shoved in the beta document are extra subject to change, as I'm still figuring out how balanced they are and or how satisfying or unsatisfying they are to use. But for now, Modify Memory Level 2 comes with 3 sub-spells, which basically means the spell is more or less an umbrella with a bunch of different things it can do, and you get more things as it levels up. But at this stage, you get Memory Eraser Level 1, Memory Restoration Level 2, and Memory Alteration. All 3 of these spells must be cast in combination with the Mind Reader spell while using its 2 action variant outside of combat. When you do, you spend some extra myth in addition to Mind Reader's myth in order to activate the sub-spell. Memory Eraser erases a memory you don't want them to have. Memory Alteration allows you to change up to 1 key detail in their memory. And Memory Restoration allows you to passively know when someone's memories have been messed with and can restore memories affected by the other 2 spells. After that, let's get you some long distance teleportation with the Spatialmancy spell Gate. This is a cool spell that can only be cast once every 10 days, takes 2 actions and a passive to cast, requires 10 myth and can be maintained with another 10 myth per upkeep. Once cast, you create a portal to any location that you have visited before, so long as it is on the same planet and the same plane of existence. So if you want to take the party on a trip to hell, you're gonna have to use one of those magical trains. After that, we're gonna get really talented by picking up a bunch of talents. We'll start with the beta talent Servant/House Partner Level 3. Rias devotes a lot of time to cleaning and cooking to pay her rent while living at Issei's house. This gives you a +10 bonus to any success rolls involving household chores like cleaning, serving drinks, or other polite things, and childcare. It's the kind of talent that you don't expect to ever actually use in a campaign, so its secondary bonus has a much higher power budget. It allows you to pick up a level 1 in 3 different talents, choosing from botany, cooking, intimidation/rage, haggling, investigation/perception, medicine, performer, religion, seduction, or silver tongue. We'll go with cooking, religion, and then since we already have silver tongue, we'll grab intimidation/rage level 1 so you can at least attempt to scare off Issei's many other potential lovers. Jeez, these harem anime. And then next we're gonna increase cooking to level 3 and seduction to level 4. For cooking, once per day you can cook an extra tasty meal that restores the HP or myth of our allies by 1d12 plus heart plus 5. For seduction, you get +10 to persuasion rolls against targets who are attracted to you or could become attracted to you by using your flirty wiles. You can also use a passive action or a counter in the middle of combat to flirt, making a heart versus heart roll against an opponent. If you succeed, they get -3 offense, -3 defense, -5 damage against you until you deal damage to them. Characters who break out of your charm are immune to its effects for the next day. You also get wrapped wrapped around your finger. If you succeed at 5 or more seduction rolls against a target outside of combat, they are completely smitten by you and will do anything you ask them to do, unless it completely is out of character for them or extremely unreasonable, like killing themselves. In which case they can make a roll against your seduction roll, and if they fail, they might just do it anyway. You pretty much used this against Issei at the beginning of the show cause he'll go to hell and back for you, and I don't blame him. Rias is hot. Next, we'll grab Athletic level 4, which allows us to choose a sport or esport. We'll go with tennis. We get plus 10 to rolls involving that sport and plus 2 to rolls in any other sport. We also get plus 1 to a stat and plus 1 to a stat cap of our choice. We'll go with skill to bring us up to 22. And then for our last 3 points, we'll grab leadership level 3. This will grant us plus 5 to all persuasion rolls, and yes, that does stack with seduction, and it also stacks with silver tongue, so you can be very, very, very persuasive when you wanna be. This bonus also applies to any rolls that involve battle tactics. We also get Tactical Order, which allows us to spend a passive action once per day in order to grant an ally an extra action, which comes in handy when you're in a ranking game. Also, last side note for this tier, your overcharge stacks can be seen as you boosting your other abilities with magic, so the magical spanking thing. Okay, moving on. Moving up to the end of 4th tier, by this level you'll get plus 25 HP, plus 50 myth, plus 1 stack of overcharge, 30 upgrade points, the epic status, meaning we can now pick up abilities with the epic tag in its cost, plus 5 to all of our stat caps, and plus 5 stats. We'll put 3 into skill, 1 into cunning, and 1 into heart. Next, you are the Ruined Princess and are known for having a lot of magical power to pour into your attacks. So we'll grab Implanted Spell Crystal level 4 and Overflowing Spirit, which will each grant us an extra plus 1 stack of overcharge. That means that you'll be able to add plus 5 offense, plus 100 damage, and plus 250 feet to your magical attacks. Next, we'll grab Modify Memory level 3. This will give you the Subspells Memory Eraser level 2 and Implanted Memory. Memory Eraser level 3 makes it so that the memories you erase can't be restored unless the caster of the memory restoration is of an epic level, and they have a heart and cunning stat of at least 15. Implanted memory is exactly what it sounds like. You can implant a memory in the consciousness of the person you are mind reading in order to make them think they experienced something that they didn't. They can periodically make cunning success rolls against a challenge score equal to your cunning plus 10, which for you totals up to 32. So if you want Issei's parents to remember something differently, they're gonna remember it exactly the way you want them to. Then we'll grab Darkstrike level 4 to increase its bonus to plus 20, and we'll master Lightning Bolt at level 6. And then finally we'll grab the ultimate spell Void Strike level 2. This amplification spell will add plus 20 dark damage to your attacks, make them unblockable unless the opponent is blocking with an indestructible weapon, and your attacks ignore armor and protection. That means that no matter how many armor spells your opponent stacks, if they have maxed out grit, or even in most cases if they use stacks of overcharge to try and mitigate the damage, your attacks will blow right through that and hit their HP bar directly. The only thing that could reduce this damage is something like partial dodge, which straight up states that it is damage reduction, not armor or protection. So your antimatter attacks will hit hard. And that's the build. So how'd we do? Well, pretty good, I think. As I said before, there are precious few times we actually get to see Rias in action in the show, which is weird because we see a lot of the other female characters in combat quite a bit. So it's a little hard to gauge where her stats should be, so I just gave her what I think a high devil should have other than her power stat, because honestly she's kinda squishy in the show, in more ways than one. But we got all of her iconic abilities, so I don't think there's anything from the show or the wiki that I missed unless it's post-anime material. You've got the power to reincarnate people into devils, fly, teleport, modify memories, use magical attacks and blocks, lead and strategize, do waifu house chores, and you have the devastating power of destruction attack that lives up to its name. All in all, an S tier build for an S tier waifu. If you liked this video, please give me a like and subscribe. And for all you die-hard Rias fans, how'd I do? Is there anything in the build that you think I missed? Let me know in the comments section below how you might make a better Rias build. As always, you can go to our Discord and Facebook groups if you want to make some new friends and find a group to play with. And with that, my beautiful weebs, peace.